Hey, thanks for coming back and joining us for the last part of this show. This is a call-in show, and I've got a really good-looking Bulgarian Canadian guy, Todor, and he's got a heck of a good story here, and I'm hoping you've been enjoying it. It's 1-866-715-1010 for questions on pretty much anything. We've covered single family, we've covered townhouses, we've covered student rentals. We've covered renovations even, of how you did the renovation thing. But you know what? I know that there's still some more stuff inside you, I think, that we could talk about, and let's touch a bit on that, because I know during the break, and we're sort of, time is running down, but so you've taken student rentals and you've now shown that $100 a month isn't cash flow,
right?
$1,000 a month is cash flow.
It's cash flow, yeah.
And that's been learned the hard way, and I would totally agree with you.
And I think the biggest lesson for me, and again I learned that through experience, was not to focus on the number of properties that I accumulate, but to focus on making money.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah.
You're in business. Every business must make money. If you don't make money in business, it just dies, right? It has to sustain itself, right?
It's such a common sense thing.
Absolutely.
But people, you're right. A lot of people in this business, they think, oh man, if I had 20, 30 properties,
right.
The focus is on the number of properties, and then they start thinking that appreciation. Then it means I have $4 million in net assets. That goes up by 10%. Wow, I just made $400,000.
Right.
Not realizing that every property you end up actually costing money, as you were saying, because a window or a furnace.
Absolutely. And I've been in those situations when people were asking me, so how many properties do you have, and how many properties do you have, and you get impressed.
Yes.
But
it's almost like a badge of honor.
Yeah, exactly. I have 15
Yeah,
properties. I have 20 properties, whatever. But you don't know how much people were suffering and maybe getting themselves in financial trouble by buying, just going by the number of properties. I have friends that have 1 or 2 properties and they're doing really, really well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that philosophy. And I know that there's some people out there, and there's some groups and different things, that you get into this mindset of exactly that, of buying multiples and multiples without really pulling back and going, whoa, what's the cash flow here?
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on here, and slowing it down. Because you're right, there's, I don't know if badge of honor is the right word to use, but I wanted to talk about your next steps, I guess. And as I said, you got a bit of gray hair now, not just from life, but from real estate. And you're getting, I think, a little bit more into education and or helping people out, I guess, or
right. So what happened is, about almost a couple of years ago, it started almost as a joke. A friend of mine was telling me that we were talking about what we want to do, and I said, well, probably I want to start my own investments club. And he says, if you don't do it by April, you owe me $50. And I had no choice but to start one.
Why? Because you don't want to lose $50, right?
Exactly. So it started with a small meeting of 5 or 6 people, and we were just basically sharing stories. This is what I do, and this is what I've done, and this is what I know. And people would come in with their own stories. I'm learning, they're learning. It's always that conversation, and this is what I like. I've been doing this for 16, 17 years, and I learn something in every single conversation. Right? It's a constant improvement. You're always learning something. And so the club now has about over 500 members. Whoa. And we meet monthly downtown Toronto. Out of those 500 people, probably 30 or 40 people show up for meetings. And we talk about mortgages, we talk about properties, we talk about cash flow. I bring in all of the professionals that I work with to present and to educate. And again, we have that atmosphere of openness and sharing what works, what doesn't work, what makes money, what doesn't make money. So we all learn from each other, and that's been the goal. And that's what I enjoy.
Well, and I can really relate to that, because as before we went on the air, we talked about some of the great things that we enjoyed about the early years, which was the camaraderie that I established and some of the friendships, and I call it teamwork. Really, you develop a team, and a team of people you trust.
Yes.
And because they've been it, they've done it, they've made the mistakes, and they're willing to share it. And let's face it, not everybody's willing to share it. But the guys that are, they end up being some of your best friends, and then from that team, boy, can business ever grow. And I certainly want to encourage. So you're a group now. So or this is it a club that people they join, they pay, or how does that work?
It's through Meetup, and the name is Real Estate Investments Club.
Okay.
You know, one
That's
night
a
I was
simple
sitting.
name.
One night I was sitting and I was saying, let's get creative here. Like, let's come up with a really
Creative
creative
name.
name for that club, right? So it ended up being Real Estate Investments Club. You can find it on Meetup, and we have monthly meetings. And sometimes we put on some educational seminars that are a day long or 2 day long. We have one coming up at the end of this month, where I'm joining up with somebody that I recently met, and I know that he has a lot of experience in real estate and coaching and teaching. So he's going to be teaching people for 2 days straight on everything that has to do with real estate, pretty much beginners and how to get into the game of real estate, teaching them how to find properties, how to do cash flow calculations, how to analyze properties, and all of that good stuff.
And is this a free club, or is this a
club,
a couple handshakes and I'm in? Or
the club to join, it's free, and then it's $20 per meeting.
Okay, can I join?
Yes, you're going to be an honorary member.
Oh,
There
because you know we all know that in this world of real estate, there's a lot you can spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And the information you get, some of it is good. I don't doubt that some of the people you meet it's worth every penny, and stuff. So. But it sounds like, you know, from your experience that you're really sort of, you know, trying to impart just genuineness, right?
Well, the way I see it is like this. I don't make money necessarily from the club. That's not my goal. It's not to make money from the club. The money is made by meeting the right people, getting into the right deals, finding the right partners. That's where the benefit comes for me and for everybody else.
Sure.
You know, because you know how important it is to team up with the right real estate agent, to team up with the right real estate mortgage broker, lawyer, and just to get good information on areas and property types and all of that, right? So this is where the benefit is, truly.
Yeah, and I know that the greatest benefit is in showing up, talking to like-minded people. So you say, you know what, I'm a little bit scared. Well, so am I.
Yeah.
I haven't bought my first property. Well, neither have I. Hey, let's you and I talk. Maybe we could. And then
that's right.
That's how it comes together.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, that's what I call that's the synergy.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about real estate. You know, is that people who are in it, you know, there's a real common ground you can just connect with, right? And I gotta admit, you know, some of my best deals are because my love for real estate has opened up so many doors.
Yeah,
you know, it's been great.
Absolutely.
So Todor, we've covered student rentals. How about property managing? I know that you know, it sounds like you've really been through the gutter.
Yes.
For property managing.
Yes.
What would be one of your first points that you could impart upon some of our viewers about what to look for in a good tenant? You know, I know that's a kind of a bit of a tough question, or it could be, but everyone has sort of a technique on what to look for. I mean, some guys say, you know, we got to you know, check your references, this and that. What would you look for in a good tenant? Because it sounds like tenant management is huge on your list.
I can't really give you an example of what a good tenant looks like, or what they say and what they do and what they work. I don't. But what I found through my own experience is listen to my own gut. Every time I ignore my gut when I meet with somebody and we talk about renting a place, every time I ignore my gut, it's costing me a lot of money. and I'm just going to flip it a little bit, so I'm probably not going to answer your question, but I will say it's so much better to stay empty for 2-3 months, not to have a tenant, than to have the wrong tenant in the unit.
Because of what the tenant can do to the
exactly.
place. Yeah.
So landlords out there, and I've been in this situation, your unit is empty, you make multiple trips, and you just can't get it rented. And you're driving back home and you're thinking, well, it didn't work out again. It didn't, and now my mortgage payment is coming up again, right?
You got
so
that
the stress starts building up.
And you start
right, exactly. And you want to just want to get it rented,
that's
right?
It, yeah, because you got no money.
And this is when you're most vulnerable, and this is when you make a mistake. So Now I'm driving back and I'm singing this mantra. I will pay the mortgage, I will pay the insurance, I will pay the property taxes. I don't want to have a bad tenant in that unit. And if I have to stay empty for 2 months, let be it.
And on that note, Todor, thanks so much for driving all the way up to Newmarket here for the show here, and I appreciate all your words of wisdom, and I wish you all the best. And hopefully we'll meet up one time.
Absolutely.
And for all you guys out there, thanks again for joining us on Your Money in Real Estate. You can contact Todor or myself later, and we'll see you next week on Your Money in Real Estate. Thanks. Bye-bye.